This eye test camp is one of the many Wazi Vision conducts in hard-to-reach areas around Uganda. The free services cater to those who ordinarily wouldn't afford to see an ophthalmologist, yet vision problems are common in the country. And with a cross-subsidization model, those who are diagnosed with refractive errors get eyewear they manufacture at affordable prices. Since I got these spectacles, I can read. Then I wasn't able because I couldn't see small letters, but now I can read the Bible. I can read everything. At the workshop in Kampala, the eye clinic is ever open.
We know that, well, as we grow, there is a reading tendency. Most people have been cut off from reading because of presbyopia in most cases, and we have encountered a lot of those cases.
When a team of innovators started Wazi in 2016, they wanted to create accessibility to eyewear for marginalized communities. Using recycled plastic, it is the first company in East Africa to design and manufacture eyewear. They also use other locally available materials like cow horns, bamboo, and offcuts from clothes like jeans. And they produce custom-made frames.
Eyewear frames that people wear are not for their facial features. You know, they are made mostly for the European and Asian facial features. So you'll find that when people wear, Africans, Ugandans, wear their glasses, they over time, they begin to squeeze them. They begin to get marks here. They begin to get marks here. The glasses fall. But Wazi, here in Uganda, is the first company to design and manufacture eyeglasses that are fit for African facial features.
The team has now embarked on a designer line of frames for those who can afford them, as it scales into other African countries.
Mali on Wednesday ordered the expulsion of the spokesperson for the UN mission in the country as ties between Bamako and peacekeepers remain strained. Authorities accused Olivier Salgado, a French citizen, of posting unacceptable information in the wake of the arrest of 49 Ivorian soldiers in Bamako on July 10th. Salgado, who has worked as spokesperson for MINUSMA since its creation in 2013, was given 72 hours to leave. His troubles stem from the information he posted on Twitter about the 49 Ivorian soldiers Bamako regarded as mercenaries. The troops were intercepted upon landing in Mali. The UN said the soldiers were arriving to offer support to the Ivorian contingent of the mission and that the rotation had been communicated to Malian authorities. Mali has disputed this assertion. In New York, the UN deputy spokesman, Farhan Haq, called Salgado's expulsion regrettable. On July 14th, Bamako announced the suspension of all MINUSMA military and police rotations.
The former ruling coalition in Sudan, the Freedom and Change Declaration Forces, also known as FNDF, announced that they will form a broad front against the tribal clashes that have led to the death and injury of dozens of people in the country and the hate speech behind them. The leader of the group announced that they will organize demonstrations on 24th July in Khartoum and many cities around the name of One Homeland Sudan to protest the violence between tribes. The announcement comes shortly after a massive protest in Khartoum when police fired tear gas grenade at hundreds of demonstrators who were holding up banners saying no to the killing of Hausas. Last week, clashes in Blue Nile resulted in 79 deaths and 199 injuries. This has led to the displacement of around 17,000 people, 14,000 of whom are now surviving in 3 schools in Al Damazin, in the capital of Blue Nile, according to a UN report. Inflation in South Africa surged to its highest level in 13 years in June, driven primarily by rising prices for food, transport and housing, official data showed on Wednesday. According to the statistics agency, the STATSA, the annual consumer price inflation was 7.4% in June 2022, up from 6.5% in May, and the highest rate since May 2009. Inflation has soared to the highest level in decades in many countries, fueled by the war in Ukraine and the easing of COVID restrictions. That has forced central banks to raise interest rates, risking the prospects of recession as higher borrowing costs hurt businesses and consumers. Monetary policy makers of Africa's most industrialized power had sought to keep inflation within a range of 3 to 6%. In May, South Africa's central bank raised its benchmark interest rate by a half percentage point to 4.75%, the steepest increase in years. The bank had drastically slashed interest rates in 2020 to a low of 3.5% to help the economy weather the coronavirus pandemic.
Caster Semenya, who will make her first appearance in the World Championship in 5 years when she competes in the women's 5,000 meters in Eugene, has every right to be there. World Athletics President Sebastian Coe said this Tuesday as attention falls on Semenya, the champion who will for the first time in a long time run instead in the 5,000 meters race. The South African last competed at the World Championship in London in 2017, where she won her third 800 meters world crown. A year later, she won double gold in the 800 meters and 1,500 meters at the Commonwealth Games, which is the last time she represented South Africa in a global international competition. Semenya was forced to switch from a favored distance to the longer event due to gender eligibility rules that required her to take testosterone-reducing drugs to compete in races between 400 meters to a mile. World Athletics bars women athletes with high testosterone levels from competing in shorter races because the governing body says the hormone increases muscle mass and oxygen uptake. Semenya, who became a world champion at 18 years of age in Berlin in 2009, has made several unsuccessful legal attempts to overturn the ruling.